was like in the deepest part of my burnout. I couldn't even draw. Whenever I did draw something, it just didn't look good. But learning to sort of like climb out of that valley, it's good to take up other hobbies, of course.
Right.
So,
which is important. Which is important.
Yeah. So, like, not to go off on a tangent, but
Mastermind family, welcome back to the show. I am your host, JoJo, and today is Artist Motivation, where we bring on artists from all parts of the world, from doing manga, comics, webtoons, and just shed some light and provide some motivation to you so that you can go out there, create, and inspire, and just do your thing. And so before we get the show started, we got to do the sound off call for the day, right? Mastermind family in the building. And so today's special guest is April. Tell me again. Sorry.
That's fine. Aptico.
Sorry. No. April, go ahead and introduce yourself to the family and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hey everyone. I'm a digital artist. I'm currently an art student studying in Minnesota. And I guess my biggest goal after I leave school is to finally start my own webcomic and to hopefully land a job in California with the big companies like Pixar or Disney.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got some, mighty big goals and dreams, and that's awesome.
Thank you.
I guess, April, tell us, like, how did you even get started on, like, your art journey? Like, why did you even get into this industry?
Okay. Well, I first began drawing at the wee little age of 4. I remember I was watching. Do you know the movie Lilo and Stitch from Disney?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I love that movie, but I remember watching like some scenes, and then I was just super inspired by some of the scenes, and I ended up drawing it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The artwork onto some board or everything to show everybody. But then that sort of like jump-started my artistic career. And then I think towards 9 or 10, when I was 9 or 10 years old,
mm-hmm.
that was when I started getting more into anime and manga topics. So my first exposure to manga and anime was definitely like the old classics like Dragon Ball Z,
mm-hmm.
Naruto,
mm-hmm.
and all of those good shows.
Oh man, you brought Lilo and Stitch. Jesus, Louise.
Yeah.
That movie was actually good. I'm not even gonna lie.
So good.
And that's actually pretty cool. And you were drawing since you were little. I mean, did your parents or anything just like, wow, like you were really awesome, like you should, like, did they ever take you to a school or anything like that when you were young, or they just kind of let you do your thing?
They just sort of like let me do my thing. They sort of saw that I really liked drawing, so they wanted to like support me in that and help as much as they could.
Nice. That is really, really cool. Okay. And so, like, with the anime, getting exposure to the anime world, I guess, what would you say is like your favorite? I mean, you named a couple of, but what is really your favorite, and what really like just inspired you and you crafted your style into it just a little bit, and you took a bit and you fused it?
I actually don't know. Like, trying to reach far back into my mind to remember this is like kind of hard, because like after being in college for so long, I rarely remember things. But then anyway, I guess if I had to choose one from when I was super young, I do remember enjoying Inuyasha when I was watching it when it was still streaming on Adult Swim on Toonami.
Classic, yeah.
Yes, that was so good. But yeah, I really liked Inuyasha.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching, I think it was Gundam Seed. Yep. That was a good one also.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I loved Inuyasha. It's just like towards the end, I was like, man, they did all of this for that. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen Inuyasha, but you just need to go watch it, and you'll find out what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But though that's really cool. And so I guess have you created your own OC of your own original character? Have you done that yet, or I'm just kind of like curious.
I have actually. So around 2016, I had finished watching Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. That is like my all-time favorite anime.
That is funny. I'm not gonna lie. That is the best anime I've seen. That's pretty funny.
Yes, it's so good. Like I cannot. It's such an understatement when I say that I love it so much. But it's like the greatest anime of all time. Everybody should watch it. It's a 10 out of 10. But,
Go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, after I watched that show, I was just super inspired by like its manly power and just the sheer like awesomeness. I wanted to make my own OCs, I should say. And then so I did, and it sort of like developed and snowballed into a more bigger project, and then I ended up wanting to make my own webcomic because of that. So my main OCs are Kitosha. He's the main protagonist of this said webcomic that I'm currently working on right now. But it sort of just follows a sort of, how do you call it? A coming of age story. I really love those.
Okay. Tell me a little more. I just want to get my tongue wet just to taste what you're cooking.
Okay, it's super duper early development. So like a lot of stuff are still betaed or unbetaed and unedited, but for the premise of this story, I wanted to involve something with Mecca, because in reference to Gurren Lagann, so good. And I don't know, I feel like Mecca nowadays, I want to revive this sort of old school feeling of like back in the early 2000s with like your Gundam, your Code Geass, your Eureka 7, all those
Yep. Robotech, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to combine like this sort of mecha and magical aspect and connect them together.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically the sort of premise, but I don't have like a very solid plot at the moment yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay. So, not to put you on the spot, but like, you got me very interested. So when is this, when do we expect to see something? Like, even like, is it on Google? Is it on like Tapios? I mean, when can we expect to see it?
I actually don't know. I'm planning to at least release a title by 2019, because that's the latest I want to push myself, because I know if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it later. So hopefully keep an eye out for a title in 2019. Follow my Twitter, Tumblr. You'll see news on it there. Okay. But yeah.
Okay. And I can't wait to read it, because, it's going to go on the Manga Monday show as soon as I see it, and I'm going to do a review over it. So.
Oh, okay. Super excited.
And so, I guess, have you had any experiences with, I guess, being in writer's block or artist block? And if so, how did you, I guess, pull yourself out of it and keep going?
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good question, actually, because it really relates to how I've been nowadays now. So, back in 2017, I transferred from my liberal arts college to an art school. And the beginning of the fall semester, I was just pumping out so much artwork. And then I was really happy with my growth too, and seeing like the development of my style. It was really inspiring and encouraging to see. But then towards the spring semester of 2018, that's when I noticed I was starting to get burnt out, and I was just really forcing myself to produce so much artwork, whether I liked it or not.
Wow.
Just for the sake of like getting artwork out there. And then at the same time, I was really worried about my online image too. So like keeping up with all the trends and everything. And then I guess it was summer. I was like in the deepest part of my burnout. I couldn't even draw. Whenever I did draw something, it just didn't look good. But learning to sort of like climb out of that valley, it's good to take up other hobbies, of course.
Right.
So,
which is important. Which is important.
Yeah. So, like, not to go off on a tangent, but then I took up like transcribing music because it was something I enjoyed.
Really?
Yeah. But then, anyway,
no, that's cool.
Getting back on the topic. So to really get out of that burnout or art block, I had to reevaluate myself a lot. So I had to think of, why am I doing art? What's the most important to me? And what do I want to tell others about my art? And so I guess one big takeaway is to first take care of yourself. So don't force yourself to draw if you're not feeling it. Don't force yourself to just pump out art like you're some sort of machine. And and to always remember why you love art. It feels vague when I say it that way, but then like it really does boil down to that sort of essence.
And I would agree. And I guess, you know, it always boils down to the why.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself, I guess, doing it for, let's just say, for short-term gain, such as like maybe fame, or which is nothing wrong with that. But
yeah.
if you're doing it for that or the money, and again, nothing is wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not fulfilling. It's very empty. It's very hollow.
Yeah.
And it won't feel like, you know, you're so like, you know, those are nice things to have with it, but it's, you know, you should have a deeper reason. Like, man, you know, I just want to share and create this story so that maybe it can touch, you know, somebody's life in a way that, you know, let's say for an example, Naruto did in my life, you know,
mm-hmm.
you know, and do things like that. And it'll make the hard times, you know, easier to deal with, because you're like, you know, I know my why and I know why I'm doing it. Because I can remember speaking with a gentleman and that was on the show, and he was homeless, and I was like, yo, how did you do this? Like, you know, he's like, art was my ticket, man. It was against my religion and things of that nature, but it was my ticket. And so he just kept doing it. And he didn't even do commissions at the time, but he had to get into it. And then he was able to come out. So when your why is deep and you know why you're doing it, and anything else doesn't matter. You'll find a way. So
good. You just put everything like my brain is moving at like 500 miles per hour, but then you put everything perfectly into like that sort of sentence. So good. Thank you.
No. I mean that you know, and I really resonate with what you're saying, because it's the why is important. Period. You know, hands down. And so, let me ask you, what is your why? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this?
Ooh, big question. Okay, so like, when I was in my burnout, I thought about my OCs, which is kind of weird, but that's the first thing I thought about, because through my OCs, I'm able to share my stories, my struggles, my inspiration, and like indirectly my sort of life and development. And I really wanted to preserve that. And so that's something I don't want to give up on, and it's something I hope to achieve in the future. So yeah, basically, my why is just being able to tell stories, and my stories being able to touch people.
And that's beautiful. And I really did resonate with what you were saying about your OCs. It's almost like your OCs are an extension of your soul. I don't know. That you know what I mean? Like, and you said when you were thinking about your OCs, it made me think like, I remember a time when I was just like, you know, just sitting quietly in my mind, and I remember seeing like my OCs like just like in action. I'm like, this is an interesting place, you know, because this is an extension of yourself, you know. And so I like your why, and it's very powerful. That's really cool, to be honest.
Thank you.
No problem. And I guess through those lows, you've obviously had to experience some highs. So what were some of your highs that you've experienced um, doing this?
Um, well, in 2016, when I was still making my OCs,
Mm-hmm.
I posted all of my pictures on Tumblr, so pictures of my OCs, and then my followers received it pretty positively, and that made me really happy and gave me sort of like hope and inspiration to keep going forward.
Yeah.
And that made me really happy. And then I think it was around 2017 before my burnout in 2018, where I could sort of see how my OCs could come to life in like animation or webcomic, and that in of itself was like probably the highest point of my art career.
It's only getting higher from there. April, come on.
Okay, I'll believe it myself.
There you go. That's the point. You know, I mean, like, I can't wait, honestly, for you to be, you know, when you're working at a high paid studio and you're creating your OCs at the same time. Now I know that's going to be a lot of, you know, work and effort, but like, it's going to be totally worth it, because you're going to see all the things that you desire come to pass, and you're just going to be super fired up about, you know, what you're doing and where you're going.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. But taking things slow and learning through the process is the most important thing.
Exactly, and you're working your craft. You're working your craft every day. So, how many times do you usually, like, you know, draw? How many times would you say, like, you would just because sometimes just doing like a little doodle is better than not doing anything. So,
yeah.
How many times do you do? You know, what's your routine?
So sorry, I have to keep referencing like 2017 art semester because that was like my big breaking point. But anyways, I took a drawing class. My professor of that drawing class, he recommended that you should draw every day, whether it's like a doodle or just a couple frames of animation or like a gesture drawing. It's sort of, it helps you refine your skill, but not in like a sort of super fast-paced and drastic way, but it just sort of like keeps you up on your toes in a way.
Right.
And I found that really useful. It helps me put my thoughts down onto paper. And let's see. I don't know. I just found it really useful. But yeah, I try to draw every day. Sometimes it doesn't come out the way I want to, or some days I'm too busy. But that's basically how I'm trying to operate.
Okay. And that's worked out for you pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Very good. I guess, April, what are some of the things that you wish somebody had told you when you got started on your journey?
I wish somebody had told me you won't get it right the first time. I was talking to my mentor last week, and he told me this same thing, and then I remembered it today. And so, because you sort of beat yourself up a little when you don't get it right, and that sort of like discourages you to keep going forward. So it's like, I don't know, you have to be prepared to not get it right, or not, I don't know how to explain it well, but then like you have to be prepared to basically what I was trying to say is you have to be prepared to not get it right the first time, and just keep going forward and honing your craft. And I guess that would have been really useful when I was experiencing my burnout early in the year, because I was just pushing myself so hard because I wasn't making art the way I wanted it to be.
I guess, how did you want your art to be? I guess, were you expecting it to look like a full-fledged, you know, professional style, or like, I guess,
Yeah.
I'm curious.
So my my biggest animation inspirations are Yo Yoshinari and Hiroyuki Imaishi.
Mm-hmm.
They're the key animators for Studio Trigger, and they're like my biggest inspiration. And so I was looking at a lot of their works, and their style and type of animation is something I want to have as an end game sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just really pushing myself to have my art look like theirs, animate to look like their animations. And I guess I was just pushing myself to a level where I couldn't be at the time. So, yeah.
Wow, that is intense. I mean, that's a huge, how can I say, mountain to put on yourself when you're I guess where you're at, you're comparing to somebody's like, crafting of years and years to your, beginning stages.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just getting started.
Yeah.
And it's just, sometimes that's how we do to ourselves. We want to have it look the best and just phenomenal. And we're comparing ourselves to other artists who have years of experience. And again, kind of don't want to do that. You want to, compare yourself to how you were, 6 months ago, last year, 2016. You want to, you're in the race against yourself, right?
Yes, that's a good point to make. So just keep looking back at your improvement from like what you said before, from 6 months ago, from a year ago, and that in of itself should really encourage you to keep improving.
And that's it. Man, I think sometimes we all do that. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, because I do it to myself. I'm like, man, how's this person at this point? And I'm like, man, I'm still here. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to be I'm trying to craft it to, perfection. And it's just like, well, take it easy on yourself. You're just getting started. So, I know I had a guest that, mentioned that, trying to craft your style, can almost destroy you.
Yeah.
And he's not exaggerating. I can tell you've experienced that as well, to the point of burnout. That's just crazy. So I guess, what are some words you want to impart to the people, to the family, for the show? What are some words of wisdom you like to give to them?
Okay. So my words of wisdom are, you can never really keep looking back. You always have to keep looking forward. So let's say you were in your artist high 3 months ago and you want to go back to that point. But the thing is, you can't really return back. You can just keep going forward. So always look forward. Never give up. Believe in the you that believes in yourself.
Okay.
That's a quote from Gurren Lagann.
I was about to say, I didn't want to burst your thunder, and take your thunder away. So I was like, yeah, I see you taking the wisdom. See, there's wisdom in those shows, man. That's awesome. I really that's some really good words of wisdom. So, okay, so we gotta have a little bit of fun. So, if you were to what show, if you had the chance to want to be an animator or a drawer or a creator for, what show would that be?
I'm a big Studio Trigger fangirl, so any of their newer titles or any of the titles that they're working on, I would love to be a part of, or even to be an intern for. I would just love to work with them.
That'll be so cool. Oh, that would be. Okay, I like that.
Yes, their animation style is just super expressive, and I feel like their style is a good mix between that super exaggerated Western type of animation and a very refined Japanese anime sort of style.
Yep.
So I really like it.
I would agree with you on that. I guess what wasn't your favorite? What was your least favorite that you've seen, you know, throughout the years? What was your least favorite anime?
From Studio Trigger?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nobody dragged me, but Darling in the Franxx was bad.
Why is that?
I only remember I watched 2 episodes and it just couldn't
You couldn't
keep
finish
me entertained or could drag me into the plot, and I feel like the characters are really bland.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen the whole show, but then I read sort of synopsis of each episode,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's trying too hard to be things that had already been created. So I see it takes a lot of inspiration from Gurren Lagann, from Evangelion.
Mm-hmm. Classics. All classics.
Those super early titles, and Die Buster, all of those earlier titles that Studio Trigger had already worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That is a fair analysis. Well, we can respect that. Okay, so tell us what's I know you already told us before, but where can the people find you? Plug us your social media. Where can we find you?
You can find me mostly on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of live updating there just because it's a quick way to post about stuff, and it's not too formal like Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
My Tumblr, I like posting more of my finished pieces there, but yeah, you can find me in those 2 places.
I guess what's your handle name? Sorry.
Oh, my handle. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
My handle name is the Gnome Child. So each word is capital, or each letter of each word is capitalized.
Okay.
It's in reference to that one RuneScape meme that was really popular in 2013.
Which one was that one?
The Slayer one.
I don't know if I remember that one.
The green gnome from RuneScape.
Wait. I probably have to pull it up to see it. Let me see.
Yeah. So just search up Slayer and then RuneScape, and then you'll see that one gnome. That's what my handle's in reference to.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a really old meme, but I love that meme back in 2013 or something.
Wow. Yeah, that is. I haven't seen this in years. That's cool. That is super cool. One more thing. What can we expect from you in the future that we can look forward to seeing? Because we're gonna have you back on the show.
Oh, I'm excited.
So what can we look to expect, from you in the future? What's in the pipeline?
Right now, I'm in the process of making an art book.
Okay.
So, I'm compiling a bunch of drawings, mostly about my OC webcomic,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully it'll give my followers a sort of gist of my webcomic without actually releasing the whole thing yet. And I'm also in the moment of making another art book. It's
Jeez.
a Fire Emblem art book. So it features 2 characters,
Mm-hmm.
Marth and Lucina,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of their adventures throughout the world. So basically, the premise of that art book is Lucina time travels back into Marth's timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and she comes back as a little girl. And then so she just spends time with Marth and the rest of the cast from the original Fire Emblem. And I wanted to capture a lot of landscape pieces and stuff like that.
Wow, that's really cool. Ooh, dang! You got some exciting things. You got exciting things coming in the pipeline.
Yes, but then I'm super stressed out if I can finish it all.
But don't get too stressed out. You got this. We look forward to seeing it. And will it be on Amazon, or where can people find it?
I forget what the site is called, but it's an online store. Ticktail.
Ticktail. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's basically like a store online website where you can buy goods off of artists and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll put it on there. And then, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's all awesome, and we look forward to seeing that, April. So, ooh, that's cool.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Well, that was so awesome, April. We really do appreciate you taking time to talk with our family and just, sharing perspective on your journey and just providing motivation to us. And so, one more time, where can the people find you at? Give us your handle one more time.
Okay. My Twitter handle is at the Gnome Child. No spaces. Each letter is capitalized. Each word. And then on my Tumblr, you can find me at Aptico, Apticho.
Awesome. Mastermind family, that is going to do it for the show. We hope you enjoyed the show with April Aptica. And so we want you guys to just stay inspired, create, and do your thing. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.